You don't need to be a professional actor to make your NPCs unforgettable. What you need is this toolkit. Let's level up your vocal game today. First of all, you've got to warm up. Not because you're going on stage, but because your voice is your stagecraft. You got to open it up. Got to open it all up. First things first, you got to open up those airways. Get yourself breathing. Take deep gut-filled breaths. Then you got to loosen the jaw. You don't need to cross your eyes when you do it. You want your voice to be relaxed, not restricted. Next thing you want to do is the lip buzz, which is basically this. You go up and down in scale. That's up. That's down. Then you just do it repeatedly like this. But obviously you don't need to cross your eyes. Then what you want to do is what's called the siren. That opens up your entire vocal range. Don't believe me? Give it a try. See how your voice sounds afterwards. As you can tell, prior to me doing this video, I gave myself an intensive vocal warm-up. Although, what I do have to do, as you may have noticed, is practice my tongue twisters, because I'm always tripping over words. When a DM or player is searching for the right vocal tone for their character or NPC, they often fall into the stereotypes. Hello there, you cannot pass! You may not pass! Obviously Gandalf is an old, withery old man who's got a very deep, gravelly voice. Yes, Frodo, I think we should go down to the river. That way we can find Gollum, who might be looking for the ring. Yeah, it's a bit too over the top. What you can do instead is work on your pitch, your pace, and your texture of your voice. So rather than just sort of going straight to that old man voice for a wizard, try something that carries that wisdom, but also isn't so obvious. So for example, you could do something like this. Yes, well, I think maybe in time we will discover exactly who the culprit was. But first of all, we must assess the situation. Personally, I think the rogue isn't to be trusted. So yeah, you kind of dial up your voice a little bit to where it could be wisdom and could be old. Then you kind of dial it back a little bit as well. So you're not being too obvious that it's a wizard. I think that works. The way to look at it is with voice you have 3 sliders. You've got pitch, pace, and texture. Yes, I did have to look at my notes to figure out the third one, because I was about to say tone, which I think in a way is probably the same as texture. Anyway, enough of that. Pitch, higher for nervous creatures. So for example, goblins could be quite a higher pitch. So, or maybe even gnomes would be a higher pitch. So obviously, like the smaller the animal, the sort of smaller the voice might go, and your pitch might pick up a little bit as well along the way. That's how I always fall towards a Cockney accent if I'm doing smaller creatures. This is another problem. You want to avoid those stereotypes. You may notice that in Lord of the Rings, the goblins have all got Cockney accents. Although that's, people laugh at it and think it's funny, it's also a little bit unfair on Cockneys, because not all Cockneys are thieving goblins, are they? No, they're not. So, try and stay away from there. So with goblins, you could always do a posh goblin. You could do a posh goblin, of course you could. I am not anyone who would ever try to outsmarten you. No, sir, of course not. Why would I ever want to do that? Or you could do a troll that is less sounding like he's thick and more sounding like he's intelligent. I think you'll find that the anatomy of a hamster is one of the most abundant anatomies of the rodent kingdom. So you could go in different ways with your voice. They're always open to see, I'm doing it again, look. They're always open to suggestion. See, this is my biggest problem. And that is another thing actually, is identifying where your biggest problems lie with your voice and just understanding that that's your weakness. My weakness is that sometimes my brain is thinking too quick for my mouth to move, or my brain is thinking too slowly for my fast mouth, which is probably actually the more kind of way of putting it. And that's true. I've got to really think about when I see, I'm doing it now, when I structure my sentences, because if I don't, I trip over my words a heck of a lot. Now, you may have remembered, you may have seen, if you do remember, Barack Obama when he was president of the United States, his speeches, his rhetoric was so slow that every single word he would say would land with intention. And the same can be done with your NPCs. Now, obviously, in high-stakes situations, you're often going to have your NPCs talking quite quickly, but you can slow them down too. This actually adds a lot of tension to a scene. It adds a lot of suspense, and it's good for you as the DM because you can take your time to say your actual words and have moments in your thought process to improvise. So, for example, I don't know where the princess went. I mean, we could look for her, sure, certainly, but without the actual necessary clues that we need in order to find her, I don't think we're going to be successful. At least not tonight. Not with those hags that are out on patrol. You know the ones I mean. Jessica. So yeah, you get the idea, right? There's a lot that could go on to it. That's certainly true. Before your character speaks, ask yourself, what does this character feel right now? Is it anger, joy, or fear? These are the three main emotional elements that you can use when trying to get your voice out there. You see what I mean? It is tough. It's tough to get this right. I definitely find it difficult. I mean, bearing in mind, of course, I'm looking at a camera when I'm doing this. I'm nervous because I know that there's a lot of people, well, potentially a lot of people are going to watch this video. So my voice is tripping over itself for a number of different reasons, which isn't good. And I need to take a leaf out of Barack Obama's book and slow right down. So that's what I'm going to do. For the next however many minutes we've got left in this video, I'm going to slow my pace right down so that we can deliver the video concisely. Sound good? So yeah, anger, fear, and joy. Let those emotional elements colour the tone of your voice. Here's an example. So let's go with anger first. With the line, "We've been expecting you." Here we go. We've been expecting you. As you can see, short, sharp, and to the point. Now let's go with joy. We've been expecting you. Now let's go with fear. Oh, we've been expecting you. So what did you notice? You noticed a few different changes. Pitch was definitely used. Color was certainly used. Texture was used. Absolutely. And so is tone. So those are the three main elements that you can implement into your voice when you are trying to portray a character's emotional state with your voice. Sound cool? Now here's a second trick, and this is actually part of my DM wheelhouse, really. I'm a very physical DM. I very rarely sit in my seat, unless of course I've got a load of players that can't decide what they want to do. I'm up out of my seat. I'm acting out all the NPCs. I'm acting out conversations between the NPCs. And I'm doing this because I want to try and bring the story and the world to life for the players. So they can really invest and lean in and improvise themselves as players and really feel the scene come to life. So that's how I DM. And I think once you start embedding the physicality of your character, you will begin to effectively take on their voice. So for example, you could have a very classic paladin character that is, stands up straight, has a very straight back, a very stern posture. And when they talk, they're very to the point of what they have to say. Maybe they don't say that much too often, but when they do speak, it comes with absolute resolve, because they know that they have every single intention behind every word they utter. paladins. Yeah, so yeah, your voice follows your body. You change your body, and your voice will follow it completely. If you arch over, for example, and you're a bit crush yourself, then your voice could go in a completely different direction. You can become a little bit feeble in your voice because you're making yourself hunched at the shoulders. Maybe you're a bit shy, perhaps. You're a bit shy or sinister. So there's several different angles you can go down with physical body changes. And that is an excellent piece of advice, one that I swear by. If you've made it this far, awesome. Go down to the bottom and check out that there is a really awesome cheat sheet table that I've prepared for you guys. Have a look at that, because on there, in the actual description, you'll be able to see that there's we've got a noble, goblin scout, a warlock, and a shopkeeper. Then I've got the pitch, pace, texture, and an anchor. So the anchor is the physical. The texture is how the voice sort of feels as it comes out. Pace is obviously, fast, slow, medium. And then you've got the pitch of, is it high, is it medium, or is it low? Okay, so yeah, so it should hopefully give you some guidelines. So this video is really just a taste of what we cover in the Pro DM course that we do at Roll Dark. We have a module that is dedicated to voice acting, and we would love to see as many of you guys sign up for the course as possible. Once you're on the course, we offer total feedback for anything that you do. So we've got a number of different worksheets that you can work through. And when you supply the worksheets to us, we will give you absolute, full, honest, constructive feedback. And at the end of the course, at the end of the 10 modules, we will offer you a placement at Roll Dark, providing, of course, the work that you send us is of good quality and you're a decent person, you know how to run a game that's professional, which hopefully by the end of the course you will do. Hooray! Woo! So yeah, I'm Rob Bradley, the founder of Roll Dark, Game Master Agency, and hopefully we will see you guys in the next one. Ta-ta for now.
You've walked the path of the storyteller. Now it's time to forge your legacy.
Roll Dark, where professional game masters are forged. Enroll now. Search Roll Dark and discover your destiny.